the integrity of the judicial process of Ghana. It shows that the judicial process in Ghana actually works. Indeed, if you look at the judges and their examination of the evidence, it was such a meticulous study of all the evidence that had been put together by the prosecution. Under in which the trial has been conducted, we must also pay compliment to the Ghana Armed Forces, the military command, especially the defense intelligence, who picked up the right signals and cleverly monitored them and indeed gathered the evidence. Otherwise, I'm sure Ghana perhaps would have been in disarray by now.
Well, so that's the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, after the judges delivered their verdict on this alleged coup plot case some 2 days ago. Now, after that, the lawyer for ACP, Dr. Benjamin Agojo, who is our guest this morning, also spoke to the media to have his take on the outcome of this almost, a little over 3-year trial of this particular case. Take a look.
That's all that he said. So he said, look, if you are going to demonstrate on such matters, pass through the legal channels. That's what I said. And yet the state drove a very frivolous case, frivolous to the highest degree around his neck. And today you see the court has exonerated him. We'll sue the state for compensation. But this case has always been frivolous against him from day one.
And the man who, together with 2 others, were acquitted and discharged in their alleged involvement in this coup plotting trial, ACP Dr. Benjamin Agojo, also spoke to the media after he, together with the 2 others, were acquitted and discharged of all the allegations, the charges against them over the period. He has a song to sing.
From the beginning, I knew that is how it's going to end today. I didn't know when it was going to end, but I knew how it was going to end. It's like watching a movie, a replay with somebody. You know the end, but the person doesn't know. So you people didn't know the end. I knew the end. So you're confident? I was too confident.
I was praying for God to answer my prayer and take me out of this issue for part of 5 years. And God has done it. God has done it. Now I know that I'm serving a living God. I'll continue to pray. I will pray, commit my entire soul to Almighty Lord.
Been to areas that have witnessed destabilization, whatever. I was one of the officers in the Ghana Armed Forces now. I think we are only about 2 or 3. That went to Ekumon Gambak 1. Right? From there, the genocide, Rwanda. I was there. Lebanon, I was there several times. Sudan, I was all crisis. So why should I come and then support whoever may or want to do something like that? So because of that, I'm a professional. Having worked for Armed Forces over 30 years now. This is frivolous, whatever it is. But well, we thank God.
Well, rightly so. And all the 3 persons who were acquitted and discharged were the ones you just heard. In fact, also watch them right now. ACP Dr. Benjamin Agojo and the 2 others. Well, just to bear in mind as well, some 6 other accused persons were also convicted to death by hanging. We'll also have a brief conversation on that. But joining me in studio this morning is a former Member of Parliament for the Tamale Central constituency. He's been a Minister of the Republic of Ghana in a number of portfolios, roads and highways, lands and natural resources, many others. And he is, for the conversation this morning, a private legal practitioner in good standing. Alhaji Nusa Husseini. Alhaj, salam alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum ma qulta kif halak.
And thank you very much for joining us this morning. Also, joining us is the man who's been celebrated this week for adding another victory to the many medals on his chest as one of the foremost human rights lawyers we have in this country. Martin Kpebu is private legal practitioner, is lawyer for ACP Dr. Benjamin Agojo, and then also he's a leader of one of 3 individual bondholder groups. Martin Kpebu, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Okansi. Good.
Now you can't contest what I say about
you know, I'll contest it forever. You know, in our profession, we cherish seniority. So for as long as there are thousands of seniors ahead, I just want to, know my place in the line.
In this, your profession, you deal with evidence, isn't it? Beyond reasonable doubt. Continuously, you have proven beyond reasonable doubt that you are indeed one of the foremost human rights lawyers we have in this country.
Hey, Mr. Okansi, we'll leave it at that.
Kojo Poku is a finance and energy analyst, and then also is a member of the New Patriotic Party. He nursed the idea of leading the party as its flag bearer during the flag bearer, elections last year, but the delegates did not smile on him. But he's with us this morning. Jopoku, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. A few smiled on me.
A few smiled, yes.
And good morning to the few who smiled on me.
Indeed, yes. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Also, Professor Ranford Jampo is a professor of political science at the University of Ghana, Legon, and also a governance expert. Professor Ranford Jampo, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. Also, we'll be joined by Professor Apieje Etia, who is a professor of law at the School of Law of the University of Ghana, as we go on this morning here on The Key Point. But for the uninitiated, this is the basis of this case that we're talking about. Take a look. It all started with the summary of the coup plotters case. There are some 6 persons who were found guilty, 3 acquitted, by a 3-member panel sitting as an additional high court judges. We're talking about Justice Efia Sewa Sariboche, who was the president of the panel, Justice Hafisata Amale Boba, and Justice Stephen Opong. And the state, during the period of this trial, presented 13 witnesses, including 7 soldiers, to prove the case of these allegations against these persons with respect to their involvement in the alleged coup plotting case. Now, take a look at this as well. They also, in the process of the trial, made these allegations of conspiracy, the charges against these persons, conspiracy to commit high treason and high treason. And the possible punishment was a death sentence, as we have seen slapped on these 6. That's death by hanging. Other charges, abatement of high treason, possible punishment, life imprisonment. And these were the accused persons. There were 10 of them. 1 person unfortunately died. So there were 9 persons who stood trial this week. ACP Dr. Benjamin Agojo, senior police officer, was acquitted and discharged. Colonel Samuel Kojo Gameli, a senior military officer who was also acquitted and discharged. And then we have Donya Kafui, a local weapons manufacturer, Bright Alan, Deborah Ofosu, and then also Lance Corporal Sylvester Kpebu, Lance Corporal Seidu Abubakar, and WO2 Esther Sang Dekuwini, and also Johannes Zipi, all in there. One other accused person was said to have masterminded this alleged coup plot. Dr. Frederick Yao McPalm died last year during the course of the trial. And as we do know, these are the trial judges, as I earlier mentioned. That is just would be in the right step to start with lawyer Martin Kpebu on this as a lawyer for ACP Dr. Benjamin Agojo, who was acquitted and discharged. Congratulations is in order, lawyer Martin Kpebu, to you and your client.
Mr. Okansi, thank you. It's not only me. In actual fact, my genius in the firm, Komivi Jochi, Komi did most of the work for me. It was stressful. It was stressful. Because it was 10 accused persons, The trial itself, that's the one you do. You and I were not there. Those days, Baumia could talk freely. That one took 3 hours a day, Monday to Wednesday. So at a point, Charlie, I couldn't cope. So thankfully, that's why as lawyers, you work with others. So in the firm, coming, so most of it is coming who stood behind me. Otherwise, Charlie, I wouldn't have survived it. Then there's Hamdia Mohammed, then Marcelinus Bia, etc. Right? So it's thanks to my legal team as well. And it's good we fought this fight because you see, from day one, you know, it was just a per chance meeting. I was a certain police officer who was also going through some troubles, and then I was just helping him. So we were discussing his case when Agojo came passing by. Then the officer, a hunter, he's called a hunter, very popular on social media. Then he said, Doc, come and meet Martin Kpebu, blah, blah, blah. And that was it.
That was it.
And then when he got in trouble, he called me. And it's good I stood him because this case was so frivolous. And Godfrey Dami knows it. And he knows why I'm saying so.
Why do you say so?
He knows it. He knows it. He knows it. That he was just trying to do a Machiavellian thing. You know, when something is small, you try and blow it out of proportion to create a state of insecurity and panic to make the case look big. Godfrey Dami knows it.
Why do you say that this issue was small?
He can't look me in the face. Godfrey Dami can't look me in the face and tell me that he believed that there was a case against Agojo. There never was, and he knows it. When I say this, Godfrey Dami understands what I'm talking about. We have to stop. We can't do this. You can't abuse state power like this. It's ridiculous. The state power is not for, this kind of Machiavellian thing, create a state of insecurity. People are after Akufo Addo. You see, you try to protect. You see now, because of his misgovernance, nobody even cares. Nobody cares. A man who has been misgoverning, then there is an alleged coup plot. Then you go and find, a police officer, the senior one at that, a man who was leading the transformation office and very popular. So you see that he gave the case some stature. And then Colonel Gamele, you hear Gamele having been to all the war fronts. So when you add these two profiles, then it makes the case very big. Oh, people are after Akufo Addo. Who wants to do anything to Akufo Addo? Akufo Addo, who has been misgoverning like this, has brought us a lot of headache like this. You see that thing? So that was it. And when they went into court, let's repeat. So please, let's make this point. This case vindicates the right of public officers to talk about the Arab Spring in Ghana.
Does this go to that extent?
Yes, that is what the case is about. When it comes to Agojo, so I'm only talking about Agojo. I'm not lawyer for the other persons. Agojo's case was that he had said conditions in Ghana are ripe for the Arab Spring. So can say that is the case. That
was the basis for the allegations.
And they wanted to gag him and thereby gag all other public officers so that people don't talk about Akufo Addo's corrupt administration. The administration that Captain Smart says is stealing money, officers stealing money and stashing abroad. That's all that they wanted to do. So Agojo wrote on social media that, when I say social media, it's a private platform that Dr. McPam created, Take Action Ghana. It's an NGO. He sought to do charity and also mobilize citizens to become active instead of spectators. So the context was that they were discussing the economic, the misgovernance in Ghana, right? And Agojo said it that, as for Ghana, the conditions are ripe for an Arab Spring, right? And then fast forward, this Take Action Ghana planned to go on a medical outreach. And Agojo contributed 2,000 Ghana for medical outreach. Remember, ultimately, is to make the citizens active, to hold governments accountable like we are doing here. Accountability is not only in a court of law. This is also a platform for accountability, public debates, because democracy thrives on public opinion. So sometimes when the people say, this is just public opinion, just the court of public opinion, it's a critical part of democracy. Can you imagine how democracy would be like if there was no freedom to discuss like this, right? So Agojo said, conditions right for Arab Spring. So after donating his 2,000, fast forward, the next phase of it was that the group intended to go on a demonstration.
So let me understand this. The money that ACP Agojo gave, the 2,000 Ghana cedis, what was it meant for? Medical
outreach in Agbogbuloshi. Medical outreach. So the state's case was that 2,000 was contribution towards the coup d'etat. And you know, that 2,000, when we went to BNI, that time, and now NIB.
During the case of the trial?
No, the beginning of the case. That was in 2019.
Okay.
When we went, when BNI invited him, and then we went, and he had to, they arrested him, and he had to write his statement. He volunteered that. First, there was an interrogation before the writing of the statement. He volunteered that information. That listen, just to show that he was being honest. He said, "Look, I even donated 2,000. You think if he was guilty, if he was donating towards a coup, why would he be hanging himself?" He said, "These people, they were doing medical outreaches. They had already done some, and they were going to do more. They were going on a medical outreach to Agbubulushi. So he donated 2,000. Then fast forward, the next part. This is the third. So let's look. So far, we've talked about what was the case against Agbojo. 1, that conditions in Ghana are ripe for an Arab Spring. 2, he donated 2,000 for the medical outreach. 3, now having dealt with the medical outreach, the third one was the demonstration. Yes, the group was going to embark on a demonstration. And then he said, hey, listen, if you want to go on a demonstration, go through due process. By the Public Order Act, you have to give the police 5 days notice, the route, etc. You also have to have a speech where you talk about the Akufo Addo's economic, his bad governance, totally, the corruption, the family and friends government he's running, now making his family rich. We borrow, and then Furiate's data bank makes money, so Akufo Addo's family is well taken care of. I mean, can you imagine this Fourth Republic? Have you ever seen any president bring his brother to be finance minister? Ghana borrows, and then the president's family makes their cut. Ghana borrows, then the president's family makes their cut, right? So he said no. So you have to have a speech, this. So he forwarded a speech to them. Attorney General went to court and said, Agbojo sat down and drafted that speech. It unraveled. They didn't have evidence, speculation. So you say, so that is it. That was the case against Agbojo. Such suspicions. You hear Justice Afisata Amaliboba say that a multitude of suspicions don't make evidence. Oh, and there was this critical evidence.
During the delivery of the judgment?
Yes. That side was delivered by Afisata Amaliboba.
So we have the full complement of the judgment. We have a copy of it.
Good.
It was over 3 hours that the judgment was delivered, isn't it? In court, over 3 hours.
Yes.
So we have a full complement, in fact, 96-page full document that we have as well. So yes, that's just to make the point.
So she says, in respect of all this, that look, a multitude of suspicions don't make evidence. You just put wishy-washy suspicion. As I said, this a page. The Attorney General was just taking a page from this Machiavelli, all right? Those books, The Prince. It's a way of just creating a big, a storm out of a teacup. Yeah, make it very big. Add ACP Agbojo, add Colonel Gamele. Then it will look like a serious coup. That type of thing. You see, it all unraveled. And then this Arab Spring. So as I mentioned, the Arab Spring was explained. Justice Afisat Amaliboba
was explained in court.
Yes. It's uprising. People, when you do Kumipreku, etc., or even the demonstrations with it. So people demonstrate. Then when the numbers increase, turns into a mass uprising. Citizens are entitled to demonstrate. Why? Does Ghana belong to Akufo Addo? So
what did the court specifically say about that statement of the Arab Spring? The judges.
Yes. So okay, good. The point they sought to make, that's the prosecution's case. Then you see the response was that, you see, when Agbojo said there will be the conditions are ripe for an Arab Spring, and then he said blah blah, this had to go about the demonstration. Then he said there will be a big bang. So big bang meaning that yes, when you go on a demonstration, try and capture the attention of the media so that there will be so much discussion of it. Then I said the big bang, maybe they were thinking about the boom, the Rollins boom speech or something. It's crazy. Big bang. So their main case was that the big bang meant that that's a coup d'etat. How can you do such a thing? Coup d'etat. Yes. So that was it. So he having said there will be an Arab Spring, go on a demonstration. Here is a draft speech I've seen somewhere. You can look at it and modify it. And then there will be a big bang on the demonstration. When you read this speech, it will capture the attention of the media, and so that will catapult the organization in seeking to hold the government accountable. And so that is the big bang And that's the case that the state rode on and failed miserably. Oh, or Godfrey Dami always knew that there was no case. It was just a charade, just to prop up the case, make it look like police officers and the military, like the coup against Kwame Nkrumah. You see that type of thing. Once you put in a police officer and you put in army officers, oh, then that's like the military cum police coup d'etat in 1966. You know, that's how Kwame Nkrumah, the coup against Kwame Nkrumah was styled. Military cum police intervention or coup d'etat. Yeah, it was the two institutions, they came together. So I'm sure with older people, once you hear military in it, you hear police in it. Oh yes. It's like the Kwame Nkrumah coup. You see that thing? But you see how God has unraveled the case, and it's such a shame. We are very, very grateful to Justices Efiasewa Sariboche, Afisa Tamaliboba, and Stephen Opon. Yeah.
Okay. Well, but there were 6 others who were found guilty, right?
Yes.
In this particular conspiracy to commit high treason and committing high treason. Dr. McPalm, now deceased, Donya Kafui, also known as Ezo, Bright Alan Deborah Fosu, Johan Zippy, Warrant Officer Class 2 Esther Sang, Dekwene, and Corporal Seidu Abubakar. These persons were found guilty of this particular high treason and committing high treason. So it is not a case you would say that was frivolous in its entirety. Maybe you would talk about that against Dr. Benjamin Agozo. But to the extent that these 6 persons were found guilty, would you say that it was a case of much ado about nothing? Martin Kpebu?
Mr. Kansi, you remember when this case came up, the media christened it what? The kitchen knife coup, right? Kitchen knife coup. So I didn't say it too. The media that said it. Kitchen knife coup. Yes, so let's just remember that. So, you know, and what? The voice of the people is what? The voice of God. So once the people saw it like that, they looked at their evidence and their verdict is that this is a kitchen knife coup, because there were utensils and all those things. You saw those pictures, right? That were said to be the weapons that they were going to use. All I say is that, so for now, I'm referring to the media and what you went in there and saw and how the discussions went. When it comes to what happened in court in respect of the 6 who were convicted, you know, to the extent that I represented 810, I beg, let me stay away from talking about the other accused persons. They are going on an appeal.
Yes.
They have a right to appeal. Let them exhaust the, the appeal processes. Then maybe I can discuss that. But for now, let me not say anything that will prejudice their case. But, you know,